our simple to-do wall. Get tools enchanted. Done. Deal with the upgrades to the island. Done. Alright, so we'll need new items to deal with. What else haven't we done? I haven't focused a lot on the PvE, so let's go check that out right now. Alright, let's go down and see if we can deal with some monsters. That is not easy to deal with those guys. So many. Why is it so hard? Holy moly, it is not. Run away. So many enemies. I'm out of here. Why is it so hard? Even with gear that I think I'm doing pretty well with my gear. Is dungeons just as hard? Hey everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Siblings Den. My name is Wingless Dragon, and I just wanted to have a video about dealing with a particular topic that's come up. I've been asked actually by a few people from the community, JC Blair, and another one, Sniper Lord AC. Both of you, thank you very much, by the way. They're not the only ones that have asked this before, and so I figured I'd tackle it a little bit from my perspective and what I've seen so far, and that involves PvE and dungeons and like what it is that you need to do. Now, the first thing you should know about dealing with PvE and dealing with the dungeons is you're gonna need gear. You're gonna need to set yourself up. If you have ranks, if you've got kits, then you know that you can do /kits and be able to get yourself some of those armors. Even if you've got the initial members kit, spawn it, work from there on what it is that you want to have upgraded. Basically, you're gonna have to enchant those to be a little bit more powerful to give you a bit more of an edge. You'll see that I've got two sets of gears here. The diamond gear is actually what I had started with, was what I had upgraded initially when I was going into PvE and into dungeons. And you'll see that like my Overlord sword went all the way to sharpness 24. I think I'm one shy of the max, and I was going to transition and start upgrading other things as well. But you'll see that I've added protection on this. I hadn't added any additional unbreaking, but that would have been like the other thing as well that I would have gone to do and put enchantments on, just so that the armor would last a little bit longer. Reminder for those that have Overlord or higher in ranks, if you are dealing with any of damaged armor, you can do /fix space all, and that'll help you repair any of the items. For those that have Mystic or below, you will have the issue of how to deal with upgrading your armor. There are pets that you can get that'll deal with passive repairs on armor, but what you can do as well is just find someone that you do trust, see if you can pass the armor to them and have it fix all. Again, deal with people in the community that you trust, that they've shown to be reputable, so that you are not just being blindsided by someone taking your gear. Otherwise, you're just gonna have to start from scratch if the armor gets broken, and you're gonna have to just enchant them over and over again. At this point, I'm gonna assume that a lot of you have seen my previous videos, have gotten yourself set up, and so you do have a blaze spawner getting experience, or you go to islands for stuff. So take a look at that and go from there. If you're like me, you might be lucky enough to get a pet. I didn't get one for armor repairs, but I got the next best thing. I got Moo back. Woo! Moo. For those that don't understand, one of the earlier islands that you could get had you acquire a Moo pet, and I was kind of in love with the fact that you could get another pet. But in this case, this is one that you can spawn. He's a grinder pet, and he helps out with when I deal with experience and grinding and stuff like that. But it was nice to have him again, so I got him back. Moo's back. Woo! Moo. But to get back on topic, let's go over the armor again. So you'll see that the Overlord armor that I initially had, I upgraded it a little bit and also added sharpness. This is what I was using initially for PvE, dealing with the quests, dealing with a lot of the stuff that involved the upgrades that were necessary to try to just get forward. But funny enough, PvE is very hard. You've got the back left corner that you can deal with in regards to skeletons and all that, and this will be more than enough that you need. I was fortunate enough to deal and get myself a grinder kit. This was purely from a friend who dropped it off after I was helping them with experience and other items. So it was really nice to get that, and I started upgrading that for protection and then upgrading the sword. And you'll see this one that I've added some looting just because I want to see if I can get some extra items. Rage is great because it gives you a chance to gain strength after you've attacked an enemy for a short period of time, so that helps out. And then Vampire gives you a chance to potentially gain some health back, so that helps out, and with the sharpness 25 up as well. So this is my kit that I have, but funny enough, I'm still having trouble in PvE. You'll see at the start that I was basically using my grinder kit and set and still was having issues with PvE. So that's it, right? You're just gonna have to upgrade even more? Well, yes, if you're focused on getting stuff from the PvE. However, this season they have the wonderful dungeons, which is great for a lot of people. Let me show you. So last night I went through a couple of dungeon sessions and I wanted to give an overview of what happened. Basically, in a dungeon, you have 30 minutes to get through, kill a bunch of enemies, but start finding chests that you can unlock. These chests don't open after a certain amount of time, and they're different for each area that you're in. So it's not always the same situation for each case. You'll also, after killing collectively 1,000 enemies, a boss will appear and you'll have the coordinates, so you can go rush to the boss and attempt to gain one of the top ranks and gain extra items. I haven't had that happen to me yet where I've been able to be part of the boss fight. The only thing that I've done at this time with my gear is go through the dungeon sessions, find chests, and kill the enemies. Well, first session, I was lucky enough to find 4 locked chests that were near each other, and I had no one nearby find them the whole duration of it. During the fights, I was able to get a bunch of pouches. The keys were provided through, I think one of them was from one of the enemies, but I'm pretty sure that all of them were pretty much from the chest, and then even got some extra fuel from the chest. That's something that you're gonna find out, is that the dungeons are really good for fuel. If you're someone that needs that a lot and you use your generators a lot, you definitely want to spend a few sessions or any chance you get in a dungeon for a little bit. If you know that you can survive through that, you're going to get a lot of fuel during your sessions. So with that, I was able to get some nice keys, was able to get some pouches. I haven't even opened, I haven't even touched these yet. I wanted to just kind of demonstrate what it is that I got within one 30-minute dungeon session. Second time, I did not have as good of a result. Didn't get very much. I only had one chest that I found, but what made me happy was that A, it was a robot, and B, it was a miner robot. I've been wanting to getting these. I've been grinding shards for this. Lo and behold, I just needed to go into the dungeon and I ended up getting a gold robot miner. I've upgraded him since and I have been using him. I just want to place it back here just to show that I've had it. Not that many pouches, handful of fuel still, which again, got all 4 kind during the whole session, but just the fact that I got 1 gold robot miner was, hey, that was a winner. That's a free robot just from going from a session. That was awesome. I was really happy about that, and it just showed that even when it was a slow session and I didn't get much, I still got a few items that I was happy to leave with no matter what. Last session that I attempted, I struck really good. Not only did I get a diamond robot, which ended up being a grinder, I ended up getting some keys out of that as well, bunch of fuel as well, but a lot of XP and credit pouches. Again, this ended up being from one session. The dungeons are not as hard as the PvE for some reason. PvE is still good when you're trying to look for the spawners and try to get some items, but the dungeons is where you're gonna get a lot of chances to get keys, to get pouches, to get robots, to get chests, and I think there's even more items that I haven't even gotten yet that are possible within the dungeon. So if you're someone who tends to avoid those fights, I would recommend taking a look at it. It's possible to get a lot of good items. These 3 chests are just from 3 sessions that I did in one day. Well, if you do 1 or 2 sessions a day, you could get yourself maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 keys, maybe get you a few robots, maybe get a lot of fuel, especially if you need them. But at the very least, you could trade those because there's some people that do use them a lot, and you end up getting a lot of potential items that'll help you with your island, with your growth, and with the stuff that you're looking to do. You don't have to have the best gear in the dungeons, but be sure to get yourself food. So you can get steak. You might need to purchase that. If you're using the kits and you're stacking them a bit, you might want to open some of your lower kits as well. You'll end up getting a lot of golden apples that you can use that will help you as well. Some of the epic kit will sometimes sometimes just have steak as well. Keep that as well. It's food. It helps you with your saturation. It will help you out. But these are just a few items that I was able to get on a handful of sessions, and I stayed the whole 30 minutes on all 3 sessions just to look at the enemies, just fighting them, getting the pouches, getting the items throughout, and it was worth it. This is definitely a later game, I would say mid-game thing to do once you've gotten established with getting your experience, getting your shards, and being able to upgrade what it is that you need specifically. And then once you've focused on that, you're able to move forward. Quick recap. Dungeons, I would say more overwhelming to handle, but a lot easier than dealing with a lot of the PvE stuff. You get a lot more gear and a lot more items from there, and all you need to do is just start upgrading and enchanting your current gear, whether it's general member one or a ranked version that you have, and set it up so that you're strong enough to get some of the upgrades that you need. There are some pet items that will help you if you have your damaged armor, or if you find a trusted person that you can bring your items to get it fixed. That'll help as well, so you don't have to re-enchant or rebuild another set. But take the time to go and try out the dungeons at least once so that you can gather some keys or some pouches from killing the enemies and being able to get a lot of fuel and a lot of items that can help you there. It's quite worth it, and it adds a lot more to do in regards to what is available on Skyblocky Sun, and not just upgrading and trying to collect as many items as possible and upping the ranks. There's a bit more to it, and this is for those who still don't like to deal with PvP but can handle still attacking the enemies. Unlike the PvE, when you get teleported, you still keep your items. From my understanding, I think died once in there and I still was able to keep all my items. This is not the case in PvE. You can lose those and people will pick it up. Maybe you're lucky someone will give it back, but that can sometimes not be the case, and that's definitely the situation if you try PvP. But dungeons is a little bit safer. You can hopefully keep your items a little bit longer, and you can go back once you've been booted out of the dungeon to make an attempt again to find other enemies and other items as well. I hope that information was helpful. I hope it gives you a little bit more perspective on the dungeons and trying to check it out. You can gain a lot. If there are any other suggestions or questions in regards to items or things to do on Skyblocky Sun, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment, let us know, and we'll be glad to respond. And if this video helped you out, go ahead and give it a little like. We'd appreciate it. And that's all I have to say on this matter. I'm just happy I got a moo-moo, happy I've got all the stuff that I needed, and I have to figure out what I'm going to do with all the keys. I don't know if I'm going to do a giveaway this time. It didn't work out as well last time, but I am going to look to see what I can get, potentially trading the keys for coins, and then see what the value of coins can be and if there's anything worth. So stay tuned. I'm going to look into that and see if there's a full video that I could do, or maybe I can add it up with another bunched up idea video. We'll see. But with that said, thank you very much for watching. Take a look at the other videos if you haven't had a chance to take a look at them. It'll be very useful and give you a bit more context or setup for your island. Otherwise, have yourself a wonderful day. See you, everyone. Check out the videos to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left. Yeah.